Football Show with Burger King. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 17 17 700. Talking Scottish football first.
We certainly are. Good evening. Paul Cooney back in the saddle. Thanks to Rob McLean last night with Barry Ferguson and Charlie Mulgrew. Tonight we've got James McPake, who knows a thing or two about Hibs against Hearts, having played in more than a few of them. How can you be more than a few? That's many of them. And Peter Grant is here just watching everything. What about the 10,000 allocation? Is it coming for the Celtic fans for what's going to be an amazing double header next month? The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. We are at the business end of the season. It's come early, but there's so little in it at the top of the table. Hearts on 54, Rangers 51, Celtic on 48. So what do you want to happen tonight? James, it's been quite some time since there's been such a tension on the Edinburgh Derby, Hearts against Hibs. What's it like to play in it?
Well, it's a great game, and we're talking about Celtic potentially getting a big away allocation going back to Ibrox, which I think we all agree for Celtic and Rangers, that makes the game with the away crowd, or it's a big part of the game. The Edinburgh Derby doesn't have that problem. There's always a big away support, either at Easter Road or Tynecastle. There'll be a big Hibs following tonight at Tynecastle, and it just adds to the game. It's a fantastic game. We were speaking about the Dundee Derby the other week when I was in here, and it was one, until I played in, you didn't really understand just the rivalry, being from the west of Scotland, and the Edinburgh one's the same, although I would say that's up a notch compared to the Dundee one, but a great game to play in.
It's even keener, isn't it? Because I guess in Dundee, you've got people in the same family who support Dundee United and some maybe Dundee. Hearts, Hibs, it's a bit more like the rivalry, not quite the same as here in the West. Sue's on already, 0808 17 17 700, listening in Killearn. She's a Rangers fan, but she thinks Hearts, it would be a good thing if they win the title. Peter, are you subscribing to that? Although, on this programme last week, you said you think it's going to be Rangers.
I think Rangers are favourites, Paul. None's changed that for me. I just think with the signings they've made in important areas, I always question marks about the back line, but how can I do that when they're getting so many clean sheets? It sounds crazy, but that's where I would see them a little bit. I'm looking at the Hearts-Hibs game tonight, and I think what a game that's going to be. I must admit I fancy Hearts in this particular match, but I think it'll be a fantastic game, and I think you're talking about the numbers here, and James is right to touch on it. It's so important to the people of Edinburgh, Hearts and Hibs, and I suppose all over. Like Glasgow, just the numbers are so much bigger, but the game definitely looks better when you've got the Hibs following or the Hearts following away from home. It looks so much better, and I think that's what it should be like anyway. And I'm talking about Celtic Park, I'm talking about Ibrox, that's what it should be like for every game, because I think everyone else will tell you that's what makes the atmosphere.
So what do you think? What do you want to happen tonight? 0808 17 17 700. And what about the Old Firm or the Glasgow Derby tickets? Peter, what do you think is going to happen? The police have told the clubs it's up to you to sort out the ticket allocation. So the rules say it's 20% to the away team, so that would be 10,000. And so what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to be one end plus part of the stand opposite?
I think the Celtic Football Club would take behind the goal. And that's even if that's not 10,000, Paul, that's what I'd say. Listen, we'll give Celtic the full behind the goal, that's it. And it's not the fact that, we'll get 2,000 stock. I'm talking about for different reasons. Safety for everybody, everybody involved, the policing and all that sort of thing. And it just makes it, if you can get them in a certain area, but they definitely should get the full behind the goal. There's absolutely no doubt of that. If that's the rules, that's what should be abided by.
James, what do you feel?
Yeah, I think, again, we've all experienced that, and I think Peter makes a fantastic point where for people watching our game, and you'll see that tonight, a live derby on the TV, a packed out away crowd, a team at the top of the league that their fans are loving every minute of this season, but they'll be nervous tonight just because it's a derby. But just seeing it, and even if you're not a Hearts fan, a Hibs fan, a Celtic, a Rangers fan, but if you're just a neutral tuning into Scottish football, what a difference it makes when you see that big away crowd and the passion for both sets of fans. So yeah, I hope that Celtic get their full allocation, and I'd love Rangers when they're going to Celtic Park every time as well. It's what we grew up watching. It's you see it, or you've seen it in every game, and I was lucky enough to go to the cup final or the semi-final, whatever it was last year, and just seeing a 50-50 split at Hampden, it made you...
the League Cup just in,
October,
it made you
annoyed that we've lost that to a degree, because it was just seeing both sets of fans and the atmosphere that they can create. So
it's a much better spectacle for television.
Of
we
course
talk about the greatest game in the world, Derby-wise, and if you look at it, and there's 2,500 fans, and for a few years there were, 500, which was pathetic. It's much better. So, Peter, you're saying, I heard Barry last night saying, yeah, it's much better when there's a big opposition there, a big number. I think that makes sense, just that one end of the ground.
What I don't understand is, Paul, Celtic, say for Easter Road, and then it's tarpaulin. Half Celtic supporters, and then tarpaulin, and then the Hibs supporters. And I think it's absolutely crazy. Think of the money that these clubs are losing.
Yep.
You know, it's incredible. Then you go to Tynecastle, which was one of the best atmospheres for an away game when you played there at Celtic as a player. It was really hostile, but the Celtic up the other end, you know, and it was fantastic. You know, it was a brilliant atmosphere. I played at Celtic Park at the time when it was over 18,000. You know, Rangers supporters behind the goal. Yeah. And that's what you were brought up in, and that's why everybody talks about that rivalry and the support there and hearing the noise from both sides. I know it's not going to go back to that, but if you can get it in the cup game, whether it's at Celtic Park or whether it was at Ibrox, I'd still be saying the same thing if it was Rangers going to Ibrox. They deserve the amount they're supposed to get. So I think that's what... There should be no qualms that Celtic get the amount they should get.
Martin O'Neill was asked about it today.
Well, I think I've been saying this perhaps not since I've arrived back this time, but I thought that the Old Firm fixture lost a little bit in the sense that the full allocation was not that was not given eventually for whatever reason, you know. And I don't know historically what it was, you know. Got a kind of an idea, but it doesn't really matter. And but I think that did lose a little bit of its one of the real great fixtures in European football, if not the world. And I thought it lost that. But at least there's some fans coming back, and it makes a bit of a difference. But to get the full allocation, as we did, you know, going to Ibrox and having the side to the left full of Celtic fans was always gratifying.
Nothing like it, is there? No other game like it when you've got a good away support there as well. What do you think? Give us a call, 0808 17 17 700. We've not yet mentioned tomorrow night. We're only 26, 27 hours away from knowing how the top of the table is going to be looking. Our Hearts going to win tonight. I think that's what most people think. Hibs fans, what do you feel? I can hear Thomas, if he's up already in San Francisco, thinking, no way are they going to win. But what about Celtic Livy tomorrow night? And Motherwell against Rangers, James, which is arguably game of the night tomorrow. I think everyone looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah, look, I'm excited for tonight's game, but I'm equally as excited for Motherwell Rangers. That's a brilliant game.
Exactly the same or slightly more? Or
well, the Edinburgh Derby's always get that wee bit. It adds a bit of worrying as well. No, but it's been one of those ones that when you know it's coming, it's a midweek game. The way Motherwell play at Fir Park, but Rangers, the way they're playing at the minute, the run they're on, and what a statement if Rangers can go to Fir Park and win with Hearts going to Ibrox at the weekend as well. So, look, it's a big test for Rangers, but that's going to be a cracking game. So, look, we're spoiled this week. Midweek, certainly, and then we've got a brilliant weekend coming up as well, but that's a game I can't wait for.
8-0. Queen's Park, obviously, had a horror night in sharp contrast to last year, Peter, but it doesn't do Rangers any harm, does it? The confidence to have a hat-trick in the Derry, a brace.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but it gets a clean sheet as well. You've got a striker that's come in and he's scored 2 goals. You know, you've got players finding the net consistently. James has touched on it, but Motherwell's similar, don't lose many goals. Rangers don't lose many goals at all recently. So all of a sudden you're looking at it, but it's not to say the teams are defensive. Rangers under Danny Röhl have been more organised defensively, there's no doubt of that. But Motherwell play to try and score, if you understand what I'm saying. They play possession football, but in the right areas. If they've got to go long or they've got to go in behind, they do that. So they mix up. So it's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Motherwell play through this period, because at the pitch because even last week I thought, the pitch is not looking so great, and I know with all the weather and that we've had, where their pitch has been brilliant for probably the last 2 years, and you'd think they would struggle a little bit, but it doesn't seem to affect them. And that's the thing, it's been interesting about it, but that'll be a big test for Motherwell. There is absolutely no doubt in that, and I think Danny Röhl will be delighted. He's got a new striker. He's already off the mark. People say, it's Queen's Park. It's saying, no, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. You want to hit the back of the net.
Of course, Danny Röhl, manager of the month.
Yeah, great, of course. But it's all about my team, my coaches around me, and I'm honest. It's a small prize in in one of the season where we want to have a bigger prize, hopefully at the end, and let's see what we can do. I think it shows that we made a lot of things right in the last couple of weeks, but not more. It's about the next game. This is tough tomorrow.
James, you're a young coach as well. He's 36 years old. It's phenomenal, though, the way he's adapted to this at such a young age.
No, that is. He's got a great experience in his coaching career so far with the names he's worked with, but I don't think that sets you up for coming into a club like Rangers and the scrutiny that he'll be under, but he's handled it so well. And again, we keep going back to it. I love his press, and even lately he's just got a way of answering questions, and it's easy to say that when you're winning games, but he was like that when he first came in. He's authoritative, he's calm, relaxed, the way he speaks, and I like listening to him. It's a great point where he's saying it's about my team, but I think in the back of his own mind he'll know if he can go and win February's, and I know there'll be a game in March where they play Celtic, but if he wins the next 2 manager of the month, he can. That's basically him. I know that's sure. Looking into the future, but no, he's been great. He has, and the way he comes across, the way he handles it, and even I liked his point but there's been a couple where he's challenged the fans when they were booing them at half time, and then
he didn't like that last week.
No, and I think that's great as well. There's an honesty to what he says, a belief in what he says as well. But even when they drew at Easter Road, he came out right after the game and says this might be an important point. Now, if you're going to say that, you need to make sure your team wins the next game, and they went and done that. So no, there's a confidence and assurance to his words, and so far I've been really impressed with everything he's done. Let's hear from Danny Röhl. What's the squad update ahead of the game tomorrow night?
Everyone is available except from, I think Max will be not available for this game, but all the other players are available. This is a good part. I have to make then some decisions for tomorrow. Who starts, who finishes the game. I think this is also crucial, and it helps, I think, not just me to have these options. I think that's also learning from my group. That means not when you are not started, you're not important. It is important for the group to have this impact from the bench. And I think we have now tomorrow a game, then we have on the weekend a big game. And I always try to take the games as a single game. But then, of course, my responsibilities as well, who's maybe a good fit for which opponent. And I have 2 clear ideas for both games, but you never know in football if it's also possible then. Yep, Danny Röhl there. Max Aaron's out, otherwise it's a clean bill of health.
That's all you want as a manager, Paul, is everybody available if you possibly can.
Especially at this time of year.
Any time, Paul. I told you, look at Celtic, the situation they found themselves in. They've had 4 injured, what they would call senior players. Yeah. It doesn't matter, and if they're important players for you and you lose them, it's a big effect. And then if you didn't bring the signings in as Celtic didn't, so people are talking about 4 players. Well, that's 8 players you're talking about. Then you're down. If you understand what I'm trying to say. But he speaks very well. But I think his experience, James touched on it. I think his experiences again being with the national team, and remember the national team, they're really poor Qatar. Yes. So it's the disappointment, what the mistakes, and sometimes you learn more off the mistakes that was made. And I think he's learning that very quickly. James is right, he's very good with the press, the things he says. I think he's honest with his appraisal of the games. You know, you're looking at it. I agree with him in the respect of that you don't look to the next game, you've got to worry about this game. You know, and that's the most important thing. At Celtic and Rangers, it's not saying, well, I'll rest him today, but I'll play him on Saturday. Go and win the next one. That's what you've got to do with Celtic and Rangers. Win that one, and see if they're all fit again. They go again. You can freshen up or something when you bring substitutes, because you've got that many substitutes now. You can freshen up any time you want.
How many were there the other night? The Dundee game. Excuse me, unbelievable, wasn't it? The number of players. What about Kieran Tierney? He was injured. Martin O'Neill was asked today, how is he?
Kieran, as you know, came off with suspected concussion, but I think he broke a bone in his nose. So he's okay. He's all right, and I think he wants to be available.
He's a warrior, isn't he?
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. Sarachi came on, and I thought that changed it for Celtic. Right. And that was no disrespect to Kieran. He started driving, Paul. When Celtic needed people to drive, he was driving, he looked with that energy. And before he got injured, I thought he was outstanding. And he was going to make it really difficult for Kieran. You know, I'm a big supporter of Kieran Tierney. But I thought Sarachi lifted the team. He gets forward, he delivers into the box, he passes forward. He's a big player for Celtic now. He's been excellent any time I've seen him. But he brings something to the team that sparks them. And I thought he'd done that against Dundee in that period. And I don't think he gets much credit of that substitution because you're a left back. But I genuinely seen in that game, I thought, oh, he's given a wee spark, lifted players round about him, with that, lifted the supporters, a little bit of enthusiasm, and that's all they want. And I thought he'd done that fantastically well. It's a sore one for Kieran, but as I say, I thought Sarachi done very well. It's fantastic that he's available again.
Sue, who was on earlier on, also said she's a Rangers fan. She hopes, or she thinks it'll be good if Hearts win it, but she also said she thought Dundee were really unlucky. Now, you're a former Dundee manager, you signed some of those players. How did you feel about that game? It was Celtic. Dundee played so well, but then the Martinelli effect in the last 5 seconds came into play.
Yeah, how did I feel when the clock was ticking down? I always felt, because Martin, and I can remember Martin O'Neill's teams back in the early 2000s, and they always, or they done that frequently, where they would score late goals, they would keep going and threaten you, make you suffer to get your win or your point, whatever it may be. Yeah. But I thought Dundee were excellent. I was the game plan, everything, and we were speaking off air about that. And I'll admit it, before when Stephen first came in and the signings or the recruitment wasn't quick or great in the summer, I thought they would struggle. And they're not in a great position when you look at the league. They should be okay, I would say, but I just believe the way they play against Celtic, the way they play against Rangers, they've been outstanding in those big games.
What is it they do, James? What did they do the other night that made it so difficult for Celtic to play their game?
I've played in a lot of games for Dundee against Celtic, against Rangers, and managed them as well, but that's the best Dundee team I've seen in recent years at keeping the ball in those big games. They got their breath back. Normally historically, when I would go in there as a player, certainly, if you gave the ball away, you weren't getting it back for a while. Or you were under real pressure, and Celtic were trying to put them under pressure, but Dundee were comfortable on the ball. They could keep possession, they could get 4 or 5 passes and get their breath back, and in that time as well they were threatening Celtic. I just think in possession they were excellent. Out of possession they were getting after Celtic in a way that was making Celtic struggle a bit, but I was gutted for them, because you say I know a lot of the players as well, and young Luke Graham, who I thought was outstanding, brilliant. I had him as a kid as well. And
he'll go further, won't he? No disrespect to the D.
Well, I think they knocked back over £1 million from Portsmouth at the very last day of that window. But for me, he's better. It's no disrespect to Portsmouth, and that'd be a great club. But it is a great club for him. But I just think
he's left, not that great.
No, he's left-footed. He's big. He's strong, aggressive, and I think he will. But no, Dundee were excellent. There's people like that I felt for.
Peter, what about Ethan Hamilton's strike? That was special.
But his all-round game was fantastic, Paul. He played with great energy. He was comfortable in possession of the ball. But James touched on it. That was my biggest disappointment with Celtic. I thought it was so comfortable for Dundee. When Dundee were getting out at the back, they were standing on the ball, looking up, lifting their head and able to make passes. James will tell you, that's the biggest thing about Celtic. They've got to make you suffer when you're coming to Celtic Park, and they didn't. And it became comfortable. And I thought then Dundee then just get that, we've got a wee bit here. And they've got decent players. Anybody that's playing at that level, Paul, can handle a ball, you would expect. But I think they've got wee guys like Congreve. Is it Congreve you call the winger? Every time I've seen him, he's been outstanding.
He's so comfortable in the ball, isn't he?
Yeah, but what I like about him, Paul, see, when he does step inside you, he delivers. He doesn't go back again and say, right, I'll go and pass it square or pass it back. He goes inside you and goes bang. If he goes on the outside, he'll do the same thing. But he works exceptionally hard.
But the recruitment departments in Glasgow not see these players?
Yeah, I think he's on loan for Swansea, if I'm right. Is he on loan? But I think he's a top player, because every big game, and that's where you judge players, every big game, and I've not seen him in the other games often enough, but every big game I've seen him playing in, he's been brilliant. But I just thought it was too comfortable for Dundee, and that's why I said when Sarachi came on, I thought that was different. He started to run and the team started to get a bit of energy, and it was all through his enthusiasm.
What Celtic will turn up tomorrow night? Which Celtic against your old club Livingston, where it all started for you, because they were moments away from going out of the Scottish Cup. They're in third spot in the Premier League. Hey, they might win it, but they may well not. Hearts in the box seat, Rangers, even Peter Grant saying, Rangers are the favourites. So what about Celtic tomorrow night, and how tough will Livy make it?
Livingston are struggling at the minute. Obviously Marvin's went in. The performances have been a little bit better, so when you're looking at it, it's a good game for Celtic, but we know it doesn't work that way all the time. But I know that they're winning games and they're scraping by at times, but for me, and it's just my opinion, the performances need to get better, and we've seen that for 90 odd minutes, and I agree with Peter. I think when Sarachi came on, it looked like he was playing with enthusiasm, and he's been like that since he came in. He's dynamic. he just looks like he wants to play all the time, and he enjoys going out there and playing. And
So would you start him tomorrow night?
I think he will, and I think with the concussion, I'm always wary of that anyway.
Sure, yeah.
I know it might not have been concussion, it might just be his nose, but I think he deserves to start. I agree with Peter. Before his injury, he was excellent, and you're watching him and going, you can see why he's an international player at a really good nation as well, when he'd come in and done well. But Celtic need to start, in my opinion, the performances need to be better, and it might, like when you watch rating, like, can they go out and score a lot of goals? Because that's, again, going back historically, or even over the last 10 years, when teams like that were going, if I'm a Livingston player, you're worried going in there. I went in with Dundee, I went in with Hibs, and you always were worried. I'm not quite sure that's there, and Dundee proved that.
Loads of calls coming in. What a night we've got in prospect with Hearts against Hibs, and then tomorrow night as well, Peter. And you're just back from America. We'll find out more about that shortly. And also, you've been watching the curling. What a shame we missed out today on that bronze position.
Yeah, it was.
So close last night, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, I didn't realise curling the way it is, Paul.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one shot, you can be. It
Yeah.
changes the game completely. But I watched it the other night because it was the Scots, obviously, and I was really disappointed for them.
Well, good luck to Gillian tonight in the Rose Bowl at Hamilton. It's the final, and also to David for the Bogue Trophy. So there's so much interest in curling, not just because it's on just now during the Winter Olympics, but Scotland and Great Britain doing us proud, but just missing out. We're going on the lines just after this.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
We're going to go on the lines in a moment or two. So Danny Röhl is the manager of the month, and a few days coming up for him. Hearts at the weekend and Motherwell tomorrow night, who many people say play the best football in Scottish football at the moment. Top of the table, you know how it looks. Hearts out in front, then Rangers, then Celtic. Celtic in action tomorrow night against Livy. More from Martin O'Neill, and also from Liam Scales. We'll hear from him. He was speaking to the media today. Danny Röhl was looking forward to the game tomorrow night. We're going to Stevie next in a moment or two. But Danny Röhl, he was asked about the potential of going top of the table in the next few days.
I think the great thing is that we closed the gap in the last couple of weeks, and now we have the opportunity to close it again. Of course, it depends about our performance, not just about the result from the other places. If we do our job, then we have it. But then, I took the word in the past, Hunter, even when we are maybe in a different position, we should hunt again for the next win. It's not just about the position. We should always hunt for wins. And if you do this as a group, then I'm very positive for the future.
Peter, it's remarkable what he's done, isn't it? And he's got a momentum at Rangers and a belief.
Absolutely. And listen, deserves the credit, deserves manager of the month.
Yep.
His team, he's turned it around, he's been calm when they've not performed well. And I think I talked to a lot of Rangers supporters, and they say the team's not really played that well. Mm-hmm. But the one thing he's managed to do is win games of football, Paul. And all of a sudden, these players look better. I think he's playing players in the right area now, like the Mikey Moores and that. As I said to you, when he came up at first, I couldn't believe they were playing in the wide areas, especially wide right. If he's playing wide, it's got to be on the left coming in. But he's more of that central area, and that's where I've seen him quite a lot. And I was surprised at Russell, because I thought Russell knew him a lot better, probably than the positional play, if you've seen him a lot. And people look at his stature, but James will tell you, as a centre back, you don't like playing against people like that, because they've got sharpness, they've got good movement. And I was just surprised at it. So he's seen that right away, and that's what you're talking about, the experience. A manager coming in, it's been over the course, he'll see different pictures of these players, and he's got other ones believing, and that's the biggest thing. Clean sheets and scoring goals, and then he's signing, his striker comes in, gets 2 goals. What else can you ask for? But he deserves manager of the month, and as I say, hope he doesn't get any more before the end of the season.
Former Celtic legend, Peter Grant. Former legend, having said he thinks he's going to be Rangers. No, I love the fact you're being honest. James, what did you make of big Ryan Naderi? How good's he going to be?
Yeah, I've watched a fair bit of him since there clips of him, but then seen him in the game. I think he's going to be good. I spoke last week that Rangers put quality balls into the box. His second goal, I think it was, where he just gets up at the back post, it's a great striker's goal. That if you've got a striker and you can put those balls in the box, which Rangers can, then if he's going to get on the end of them, it's a massive threat for a team, and he looks like that. I like the way he plays, and some of the goals he's scored, albeit it's been on clips, but it's all we could really find of him. But no, I like the look of him. I think he's going to be a threat, and what it will do as well, it'll push the other strikers on, because they've paid a lot of money for him. I know they've paid a lot of money for a couple of strikers. Who are the other
ones? We haven't mentioned Chermiti for days.
I know
it's gone quiet.
It looked like he was injured or whatever in the last game.
Right.
But Miovski got his goal again, so Chermiti's, he'll have that wee bit in him now, where he's right, you're in here, so you've came for a lot of money. I'm going to prove that I should be the one playing, or can we play together? So look, it's good for the club. It's good that you've got those players in the squad that are all fighting to be in the team, and that's the thing now, that when you look at that Rangers squad as well, they can bring players on that can affect the game in a whole different areas all over the pitch. So no, look, it's at the minute they're looking very strong.
He spoke about his team's consistency and attitude.
Yeah, look, I think my mindset is always go for a win instead of a draw. And I think with this mindset, when you go in a game, then they change something in your mindset, because then you are not fear or too respectful. Yeah, we respect all the opponents, but you know what I mean. It's about you are on front foot or not on front foot. You want to score, or you think maybe not. No, I want to see a team who goes with courage on the pitch and is always ready to score goals.
Rangers fans, what's your team for this huge game tomorrow night? Because if Rangers win, it could be quite significant. I mean, every single game coming up is huge, but this feels a bit special tomorrow night. At the Celtic game tomorrow night against Livy will be, I think, our next caller. Stevie's on in Craigend. Hi, Stevie.
How we doing, guys? All right?
Evening, Stevie.
You.
I think it's an absolute disgrace that Charlie Mulgrew is on the Go Radio advert and Peter Grant, Celtic legend.
Thanks for that, Stevie. The money's in the post.
All right. Thanks, a big man. But I knew the other day when I met you and you gave me the 20 quid, mate. I mean, that's right on.
Good man.
Cheers, Stevie. Right, Stevie, you're banned. That's it. No. So we'll get you to Optical Express. No, I know Peter's. Yeah. We'll maybe rotate it. I'll speak to the management.
I think you should.
Stevie.
But as I said, I just think, obviously, as I said to the guy that answered the phone there, that I think over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be topsy-turvy up the top. And again, we're glad we've got Martin there, to guide us through experience, getting us through, obviously, the European games. And it's scary, I know, because the guys that he's brought in, can basically help us in the league. And the guys that he's put into the European squad could maybe that wee curveball that we could throw teams in Europe. That might go, they were in a terrible way, we should beat them. But now under Martin O'Neill, we've got sort of like, it's more or less like two sides. I don't know what Peter and James think, but again, we've got the Aberdeen game midweek, we've got Rangers midweek, we've got the Rangers, obviously, the cup game as well, guys. And I think Danny Röhl, fair play to the big man, he's got Rangers winning. My wee grandson was at the game the other day and said they played really well. The new guys looked really good. But I just think when push comes to shove, and Peter knows this better than anybody, is who can roll up their sleeves and get through the games, get the points on the board through the games coming thick and fast, if that makes sense. So I don't know what Peter thought.
Good point. Well, let's see what Martin said today. Martin O'Neill was asked about this busy schedule and see if there's any hint about the kind of formation, the teams that he'll play.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been.
Well, that's Liam Scales speaking about it, so that won't help us. Peter, what's your view on that?
No, I agree. But Stevie's saying there's things that fall for you, Paul. Like the game tonight. If Hearts lose, then there's a problem for them all because of the way the fixtures fall. If Celtic win tomorrow evening. Rangers win tomorrow evening. Now Hearts versus Rangers is after Celtic. And if Celtic go and win against Kilmarnock, but this is off if buts, and maybe it'll be the first time Celtic play before both of them. So that puts a different type of pressure, especially if the points are dropped. So that sometimes brings in nervousness. I think it would bring a massive nervousness to Hearts if they lost tonight and then they go to Ibrox. Rangers could go above them if Rangers win their two games.
It's a great point. Kilmarnock Celtic 2:00 on Sunday. Rangers against Hearts 4:30.
Yeah.
So that psychology could play.
Massive.
What's it like?
Oh, mad! I mean, I was here with Tony. Always,
Mowbray.
we were there. We played on the Thursdays, and Rangers had always played on the Saturday. Always. One game I think we had probably in the 9 months, and it was really, really difficult. Not for anything else, because you could be drawn 0-0, still win the game, but you could tell a nervousness was coming in because people knew Rangers were already won. Yeah. So it was all things like that, and it does affect. You sensed it with Hearts the other week there. Can't remember what game it was. All of a sudden, their fans were very nervous, and it was hindering them a little bit because it was so close. But if it changed, if Hibs win tonight, Rangers and Hearts play after Celtic, and if Celtic win both games in between, then Celtic could be back in touch, and then all of a sudden, Rangers win tomorrow night. Rangers could go above Hearts on Sunday, right? And that definitely brings a different sort of pressure.
It's back to the big two.
Absolutely. And
Neck
who can
and
handle
neck.
all? But the three of them are still in there. Hearts would still be in front of Celtic, but it's a completely different pressure pot you're talking about. And Stevie's right. All these things have still to come. Martin's been over the course. I don't think it'll affect Danny Rohl. I genuinely don't. I don't think it'll affect Derek as a person. But the people round about sitting watching it, the supporters who've been over that movie before.
You've detected that with the Hearts fans.
They're always like that. They've always been like that.
You're not a huge fan.
No, because they're like that, Paul, and you can sense it. And by the way, these players have not been there before, apart from Craig Gordon, who's back out the side again.
That's right.
He's the only one that's been over the course of winning things.
Here's Martin O'Neill speaking about this busy schedule.
Well, I think that, for instance, whatever the draw happens to be, that's fine. I thought that my own view is that I thought the Aberdeen fixture was stuck in there very, very quickly. I can understand the SPL saying that they want to get X number of weeks. What they don't want to do is they don't want to have some postponements going into the split. I think that was the reason for it. But it was, that I think was something that they could have been considered, really, at the end of it all, because it did mean an awful lot of away travelling. But for fans who, obviously, it's going to be difficult to afford those particular fixtures. But in terms of what happened with Stuttgart, in terms of what happened with the Scottish Cup, that's the nature of the draw.
What about the Celtic squad that Stevie's talking about now? That strength, they've added some of these players for the Europa League.
Yeah, they have, and a lot of the players that came in, but we didn't know them as such. We've seen a few of them at the weekend. Obviously, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, him coming in, we all know him, and if Celtic can get him fit, hopefully for Scottish football, we see him tomorrow night for a part in the game if he's training okay and ready to be in the squad.
Do you think he will come on? What do you reckon?
I think so.
Yeah.
By the fact that he's been training yesterday, or I seen he was training yesterday or today, but just having him in the building, the experience he's got, and look, we know he's not played for a while, but just for Scottish football, I think it's a fantastic signing if he's right, and we can still at a good age. But look, I think Stevie makes a great point about it's going to be up and down for all clubs, but I agree with Peter on it. I think Celtic are the ones that, even the players, I know Martin's been around the block and seen this before, but so has a lot of the Celtic players, where they've been chasing the title. It's a bit new to Rangers, but I still think with that club, there's a history there that they've done it. I think the Hearts are the ones.
And an expectation of the Rangers fans.
Exactly.
And
we've seen that expectation the other night, Paul, with the booing, when they were playing Kilmarnock and they're only 1-0 up, but that won't affect Rangers the way it would affect, say, a Hearts if they're getting beat tonight. So
where are the Celtic fans in all of this? We'll never answer it in the next hour and 20 minutes of the programme, but it is a factor, Peter, isn't it? Stevie said that about you, the respect for you as a Celtic legend. Martin O'Neill there. The players, what have they done wrong that means that... And look, people can boycott if they want, but it doesn't help the players on the pitch in any way, does it?
No, it doesn't, Paul, because the bottom line is, I was there in the 90s, obviously.
Yeah.
And every time you scored, it was sack the board and whatever. And people say, does it affect you? When you're playing, it's difficult, but there's nothing better when there's a vibrant Celtic park and you're getting all this singing. Anybody will tell you that. That's always been the case. And you would wish that all the support were together and the board and everything was going swimmingly. That's football and that's life, and that's not going to change. So now you have to deal with it. James has talked about there's certain situations you have to deal with, they get through up. How are they going to handle it? How are they going to manage it? They've got certain guys in there who've got that bit of experience. Now you've brought Oxlade-Chamberlain. Maybe that's going to his biggest effect. He's been over the course, he's played in big European games, he's played in England games. Maybe that's the big effect he's going to have, because he's been training with world-class players at Arsenal. Yeah. You know what I mean? So hopefully that he's been in amongst that ball group. I know it's not the same as playing, but at least he's been fit to train and play in the respect of that. So that's going to be a plus. And obviously you're hoping like Sarachi and that come back, as I say, because I think he'll be massive, especially with Kieran coming off in most games, all these things. So these wee things are going to be massive. Now I looked at the striker on Saturday, and I was glad he looked like a striker, because he played between the sticks, got a fantastic goal, aware of where he should be in the box.
What does that do for his confidence?
Of course, but it was great to see him not being a winger, Paul. Because people say, he plays number 9, but he can play wide left and he can play... I just want a number 9 that can play number 9. You know what I mean? It does my head in when people say, but he can play outside right and he can play outside left and a number 10. Forget that. Make him a number 9.
Here's Oxlade-Chamberlain being spoken about by Martin O'Neill.
He's doing fine, really fine. Yeah, he trained yesterday and today, so he's looking pretty good. You will have a little look at that later on today. I haven't picked the squad yet, but yeah, there's a possibility of that.
Stevie, what's going to happen then tomorrow night? I know you don't like to predict too much, but it's a huge 27 hours or so, isn't it? With Hearts Hibs tonight, who do you think?
Again, that's why I phoned it. I think Hibs will beat Hearts tonight.
Do you?
And
Yeah.
then you've
Wow.
got, and then something. Again, see when you look at it though, Paul, it's going to be who's been the smarter person in the transfer window in January when it comes to the two Old Firm games. And that's based for the league and for the Scottish Cup. But when you look at it and you sit and say, and again, obviously the guys touched on it, the experience of being there, and that's why I mentioned getting the sleeves rolled up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not because Peter's been in dog fights, and I think it was one time, remember, we played Rangers like 3 weeks in a row or something. Peter.
Yep.
I mean, they're all different competitions, but it was a different team every week, and I mean that for both sides. So it was regardless of what you'd done the week before, the following week it was just, you know what I mean, level playing field, who wants it more, and I just think the experience, I know what they're saying about like Hearts and Rangers and stuff like that, I mean, no, but I'm a Celtic fan, I mean, why do you staying boycotting, doing this, doing that? We've got 5 guys in, we've got guys to come back in, so, and they're a question, you know, if any Celtic fan comes on the night and go, if Martin O'Neill does, you know, again what Martin does, and gets Celtic to a European final, right, I know it's a long shot, guys, so don't shoot me down, are they still going to boycott, you know what I mean, and miss out the memories that people have got, the Seville, I mean, no, when we went there, I know we didn't win, but when we went there. Sure. So, again, as Peter says, you scored a fantastic team goal, everybody's celebrating, and do you hear Celtic, Super Celtic, or no, you hear sack the ball.
That's true.
Shut up. Just shut up. You know what I mean?
There's not a lot you can add to that, because I think you're right. There's no Hearts fans boycotting or whatever just now. There'll be no Rangers fans. And I do wonder if the younger... Look, there are gripes there. There are genuine gripes. And Celtic need to address some things and make progress. But you're playing here for the title and the cup or whatever, but let's say the title and the Champions League money, and get behind the players rather than boycotting or whatever. Because maybe the younger fans want everything right away. But Celtic have won, 13 out of 14 titles. Peter, that was unheard of. James, you were brought up probably when Celtic were doing well, but Rangers also had a 9 in a row season. They don't realise how the pendulum can swim. It can swing so quickly away from you. And it's almost as if it's maybe going to be the time that the pendulum, Peter, will swing towards Rangers. And I'd say to the Celtic fans, the younger ones maybe or whatever, support your team, because if not, we always talk about a 12th man. You've got a part to play.
All we need to see there is COVID.
Yeah, sure.
Celtic no supporters. How important Celtic supporters are to the team.
What was the gap that year in the title?
25 points, was it?
25 points.
But you cannot put on it what the Celtic fans mean to the team. Please believe me. I've been there, good, bad, indifferent. You cannot put that on. We won games when we didn't deserve to win games for one reason, because of the support you had. And that's so vital, and it's going to be... And I'm telling you, I'm criticising Hearts fans. I'm not criticising them because that's the way they are, because they get nervous because they're within touching distance, they feel, and they were so far in front. Now if it goes at level pegging, that's a different type of pressure, not just for the supporters, for the players also. You know, as I say, apart from Craig Gordon, but the fans are massive, because Celtic couldn't go, even doesn't matter how many good your players were, they just never had that oomph, because when the supporters, even when you're not playing particularly well, sometimes they give you a hard time, and it raises your game. It can be a tackle in the match, it can be a header that's won, all these things, and it lifts everybody. But not only that, I'm talking about Sriracha the other day. That's exactly what he done to the support the other day there, was lifted them. So you need your support there, and they're the most important ingredient in Celtic Football Club. There's never getting away from that. That's fact.
Stevie, thanks for your call. We're
Cheers,
back
Stevie.
after
Thanks,
this.
Stevie.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
Manager of the Month, Danny Röhl, we'll hear from him shortly. We'll hear from Liam Scales as well as Martin O'Neill. And we haven't even spoken about the cup draw yet, apart from briefly. Rangers against Celtic coming out the hat. Dunfermline against Aberdeen or Motherwell. And James, I heard you on the Beeb at the weekend at the Dunfermline game. Big win for them. Falkirk against Dundee United or the Spartans. My goodness, you were right. Falkirk were pushed and pushed and pushed, but they're a big team now. And it could have been David and Goliath. And St Mirren against Partick Thistle. The Jags, it wasn't an easy game. In fact, you'd say the same for St Mirren. Back to the cup in a moment or two. But Paul is on, Rangers fan on the line. Good evening, Paul.
Evening, Paul. Evening, guys.
Evening,
Hi,
Paul.
Paul.
Good.
Hiya. I can vouch for M77, Paul, because it is a nightmare. I'm stuck here.
See, I don't know much about the football, but I know that it's murder, isn't it? I'll tell you what, can I go on a slight... I heard Dougie McPherson on this morning in the news. He was brilliant about the traffic in Glasgow. Too many places at the same time. You can hardly get anywhere. The avenues that are being... more cycling paths and all that. Come on, there's so many. It's really difficult. People trying to get to the work, trying to get this great city moving. Come on, give us a chance. I mean, it's just... But anyway, any football thoughts, Paul, before I head for the politics? I'm trying to
There
get
we
that
go.
Bernard
That's
Patterson
it,
bait.
exactly.
Who needs
We
Bernard?
should go on this Sunday
the
now.
politics. And Hunter and Hockey on the business show. I mean, they were amazing on Sunday. Oh, wow. You can't miss it. And they had the assessor. Did you see it? In between the two, the assessor. They hadn't heard from
I've
him.
not seen
Anyway,
that
I won't
one.
go into
I'll
it just
catch
now.
up on it.
So you should. It's really, really good. Paul, back to matters. What about the Glasgow Rangers? What's your thoughts?
For once in a long, long time, Paul, I'm extremely confident. Now, it could be called overconfident, right? But I know the context of the Kilmarnock game, they were down to 10 men. Get that right. We didn't have a great first half. Queen's Park, fair enough. But see what I'm seeing with Danny Röhl and the players we've got in, Paul. I'm saying in the show that I'll put my neck on the line. I phone up quite regular.
Yes, sure.
Put my neck on the line.
Yep.
I think we'll smash Motherwell tomorrow.
Right.
Have one for you. I'm not going in there worried about that game, by the way. I actually think this could be a 3-0 or a 4-0. And it should be, Paul, because for years, Rangers' style of play or whatever been brought into question. Now, for a long time, because of the takeover and everything else, I think Andrew Cavan has listened. I think, as you know, you talk about it, Paul, about the power pointers or whatever you want to call it.
The bluffers, yeah.
We've moved them on, and I think we've got the right key people in. And what I seen with the Queen's Park game, and I know the guys might come back and say, well, it's Queen's Park, they're not doing great, blah, blah, blah. Nadiri looks to me to be the first time since maybe Nikica Jelavic, a proper box-to-box player who'll put the ball in the net, right? For long ago, we've had, going through the climbing through the ladder and all that, we've had Blackhorn and all these types of players. We've now got a proper physical type guy, 6'3". Scott Fry, the set piece coach, I think, maybe, quote me if I'm wrong here, we might be the only SPFL team with a set piece coach. And it's what a difference that's made with Fernandez getting on top of shots. We're now at goals. We're a threat at set pieces. I think we put Motherwell away, we put Hearts away, we'll be top of the league. And I actually think, I heard the previous caller there saying about Celtic. Do you know where Celtic, I think we've got the stronger squad. I don't know if Peter will agree, right? We've got the stronger squad. Do you know where Celtic will get the wins? Martin O'Neill's emotions and status as a Celtic legend is a bit reminiscent, I've told you before, with Walter Rangers.
Sure.
That's where they'll do well.
Yeah. All right, there's a lot in there. So, James, I saw you nodding. You think Rangers are the only club with a with a set-piece specialist. But can I just put this to you? Motherwell have only lost 17 goals so far. And I hear Paul there saying Rangers will go and they'll smash them. And they may well do. What do you feel about the comments ahead of the game tomorrow night? What are you thinking?
It depends how we define what going and smashing a club is, in terms of if they turn up and win 3-0, then you could say that's a comfortable win for Rangers. I don't think it will be comfortable at all. I think they're going to a place. I think Motherwell have the 9 clean sheets in a row. And we talk about style of play, but Paul's making a lot of points here about Rangers and their style of play, which, to be fair, is getting a lot better. And I like the point about Nadiri being that type of striker. He's a striker I love as well. And if he is like that, he will score goals because, like I keep saying, Rangers put quality balls into the box. But they're going to a team that have caused them problems before this season at home and at Ibrox. That have beat Celtic at Fir Park and caused Celtic all sorts of problems and caused every team, no matter who it is, this season problems. So, look, it's when you support a team, you've got the right to be confident, and Rangers fans in particular have got a very big right to be confident at the minute because they're flying, they're doing really well. I think.
Who's got the better squad? I think that's what you were asking, the Rangers squad or the Celtic squad, or the Hearts? Who's got the best squad of the three?
In terms of where they're sitting at right now and what they're doing and the fluency in the squad, that the players coming in, I've got to go with Rangers.
They're on the roll. Peter, what do you think?
I don't know. If I went man for man and said that we're all fully fit and playing at their best, I'd still say Celtic have got the best players.
Yeah.
But they're not playing at anywhere near the form they're capable of, Paul.
But the ones who are there...
I think Rangers, what they've done is they've brought in a ready-made striker who's available to play and who's been scoring goals right up to he came to Rangers. That's where I think the head's up at this moment in time, because you look at Celtic strikers who they've brought in, they've not been playing games.
Sure.
Okay, the two boys have done good and they've got the goals, they've got the assist, but that's important. The number 9s for Celtic or Rangers are so important. Hearts, we talk about Hearts, Shanklin's not there.
That's right.
Is that going to be the big miss? That we don't know how long he's going to be out, but is that going to be the big miss? Because no matter what other striker comes in from, I really like Braga, and is it Kyriakis you call the winger? Kisarides, sorry.
Yeah.
I think they two are game changers.
Yeah.
Braga gets a goal, but they're no Lawrence Shanklin who could nick you a goal at 0-0 and win a game for you 1-0.
And having the season of his
So that's
life,
where I think the striker, and that's why I say Rangers are quite ahead. But I wouldn't say they've got the best squad. If Celtic have got all their players fit, playing at their best, I still think they've got the best squad.
You mean
the number 9's the place. It's a worry
with
for
the
me.
Celtic squad, you don't mean Jota and all that, because it's just not
No,
happening.
of course.
Or CCV, but you mean the ones who are there just now. But Ian Atcho, for example, didn't see him at the weekend. Got to see
That's what I'm saying.
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
If they're going to play at their best, because
Yeah.
Rangers have come in. Listen, I always think you've got to go there and perform. It's all right saying these are the games now. This is the time you're at the games. Going to Motherwell. If Rangers could set a marker down tomorrow night, we go in and beat Motherwell. Unbelievable result, because Motherwell terrorised Celtic at Motherwell. Terrorised them. That was embarrassing how good
and that was
Motherwell were.
Wilfred Nonsi. That was
I'm not blaming the manager. Whoever it was Celtic Football Club who went there and get terrorised. Motherwell were outstanding on that particular game. If Rangers allow them to play, it'll be a difficult night for them. But I think Danny Rohl's experience in Germany and England, he's not going to allow that first pass. He's going to make them go longer, I think.
I wonder what Stephen Reside's thinking. And Stephen, I will get back to you. You've been on, so give us a call. Or Hugh, big Motherwell fan. It's going to be some game tomorrow night, isn't it? We're looking for it. So you think the strongest squad would be, Paul thinks it's Rangers.
I think Celtic playing at their best.
Right, and if Martin can get that, James?
I just think in current form, the way everything, I can see Peter's point, but I'm going Rangers, just the way things are going at the minute.
Paul, you're getting almost unity here on the programme tonight.
I don't think you expected anything different from me, Paul, did you?
No. Well, yeah, I heard Peter last week saying you thought Rangers...
No, I definitely do, Paul.
Sure.
I definitely do. I think Rangers are in pole position and I've not changed anything since the window. There's no doubt in my mind of that. If anything, I've got a greater belief in them because they've got that striker that's ready. And it's vital at this time of the year.
What was the Douglas Ross story, the referee, former leader of the Tories, who was there? A couple of strange decisions, were there not? What was the ball that the cross, that wasn't over the line,
No, it was where he was standing at the corners.
What was the problem?
I was wondering what he was doing there. That was a weird thing. I'm thinking, can you get any closer? I think in the olden days, I know where the flag would have been, Paul. I'm not, can I say it on radio?
Okay. Paul, good to hear you. Thanks for your call. Enjoy the game tomorrow night. Thank
Cheers,
you.
Paul.
0808 17 17 700.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 17 17 700. Talking Scottish football first.
Paul Cooney here with Peter Grant and James McPake. Ali's been on during the news, 0808 17 17 700. She is a fan, she says, of the finest team in Glasgow, and she thinks they're going to win a double, and she thinks it would be a great thing. Could Partick Thistle win the league and win the Scottish Cup, because they're up against St Mirren, a West of Scotland derby? But the Jags, James, I mean, they keep going. They did that at the weekend as well. I mean, I know the St Johnstone game in the Trust Trophy is off tonight, again, because of the conditions. So that match is off. But what about Partick Thistle? She came on there during the news. She's listening in Tunbridge Wells. Big Thistle fan. What do you reckon?
Dak had a banana skin on it, looking at it at the weekend, and then with Elgin getting back to 2-2, and then or 1-0 down, one each, 2-2. But you're right, Partick do keep going. They've done it at McDermott against St Johnstone the previous Friday night as well. And, you know, looking at the draw, it's not one St Mirren will fancy. No. I get they're at home, they've already won a cup, but it's not one where you go, this is just a championship team. And
it's a great game, isn't it?
It's a brilliant game. No, it's a fantastic game. Really, really one that stands out in that draw, just with, I know St Mirren aren't in Glasgow, but with Partick being from Glasgow, St Mirren, Paisley, big
Paisley's
crowd.
right in the heart of our territory. Yeah, listen, we're Lanarkshire, Glasgow, Renfrewshire, Clackmannanshire, Bartonshire.
A brilliant game in terms of terms of attitude.
Sure, will be.
Attendance from both sets of fans, and the two of them just desperate. Partick will go into that thinking they can win that, and desperate to get to the semi-final of the Scottish Cup. And what a carrot that is for Mark Wilson and his players.
Aberdeen Motherwell, no word yet when that's happening.
But the thing is, out of this, Paul, you look at the draw.
Yep.
All the other clubs have been delighted that Rangers and Celtic pull each other. You look at the rest of it now, anybody can win any of the games.
Yep.
So it's the perfect draw, really, because you look at it, and I don't care, Dunfermline against Aberdeen or Motherwell at home.
Yeah. Sure.
Dunfermline will be taking that all day long.
Is that game tomorrow, actually?
No, but
we announced it last week, but you're right.
Yeah,
I know.
You know what
Sure.
I'm saying? But you look
Sure.
at Falkirk, Dundee United. Not got my glasses
the
on here.
Spartans.
The Spartans. So if Dundee United win that one, you're thinking to yourself, there you go. Falkirk will be fancying that all day long. Then you're in there. So Celtic or Rangers have got to go.
Yeah.
You know,
You're then
then you're
off to
St Mirren
Hampton. Sure.
Thistle.
Yeah.
And look what St Mirren done in the other cup competition. So it just shows you it's a perfect draw for everyone else. Probably Celtic and Rangers. Celtic was just in hope for that one would have been at home, not away from home. That's only one side of that for Celtic. But Rangers will be delighted with that draw.
Of course. 18th of February is the rearranged game, Aberdeen against Motherwell. I think I said that a few days ago. Yeah, Peter, I want to find out about, he was in America at the weekend. Quite touched. He's a jet setter, isn't he?
I wish I was.
He was here just the other day.
He's living
over
the dream,
there.
Paul.
Philadelphia, the Rocky City,
it was
eh?
lovely. The
Were
people
you up
were
the steps
fantastic.
there, were you?
No, I was wanting to go up the steps, but I couldn't
Adrian.
sleep, Paul. It was minus
right.
16 degrees.
What?
It was absolutely frozen.
Colder than East Kilbride.
Exactly.
Chapel Hall in the winter.
Exactly. Well, I was taking the jacket off when I come back here. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
But it was unbelievable, fantastic. Really well looked after.
Did you
But
get some new listeners over there then? Did you
yes,
spread the word?
a lot of them are actually saying they listen.
Really?
Believe
Say
it or
hello
not.
to them, yeah.
Well, everybody in Philadelphia
Okay.
and all the North American Celtic supporters clubs who were there, they came from all over.
Did they?
And
Yep.
obviously the courtesy was fantastic. Me and Tosh McKinley were
Oh,
there.
fantastic. How's Tosh?
Fantastic.
Was he suited and booted?
Oh,
the full
always
bit?
is.
The
Always
tie?
looks immaculate.
Yeah.
Always looks immaculate. But they were brilliant. Really great hosts and thoroughly enjoyed their time there.
It's incredible, isn't it? The way the Celtic fans around the world, and I know for Rangers fans as well, many of our pundits head over to Toronto, Canada, Australia, everywhere. James, it is phenomenal, isn't it?
No,
yeah.
Two of the biggest clubs in the world. It's brilliant, and hearing the stories, and you hear it from the Rangers players as well, or the former Rangers players, and you see it online or whenever they go over. But it just shows the draw that our two big clubs in this country have. So it goes back to the very first point of the show that we need to get the away crowds back in just for the sake of our football. But great for Peter being away, and you see it with the Rangers fans, the Celtic fans. It's fantastic.
So you're both former managers of Dunfermline Athletic. They could go all the way. It would be phenomenal, wouldn't it, if Dunfermline, who had such a proud record in the 60s.
Absolutely.
You were just a baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Neil's done fantastically well there. You know, I mean, listen, it's brilliant. The one thing when I went in as manager, I'm sure it was still there when James was there, it was a picture of the great Jock Stein and the great Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
So that gives you that wee bit of hairs in the back of your neck, the history that the club's had. It'd be fantastic. Neil done a wonderful job there now, you know what I mean? And okay, I know he says it, he gets the support from the finances and that to come in, but you've still got to get results because
American money in there.
Yeah, I'm not.
He's
100%
English,
sure.
but he lives in America.
Yeah.
His businesses are based out of America. But I've seen them. I done the game when they played Hibs in the first round, and I'll tell you, like Aberdeen or Motherwell will not be looking forward to going to that packed out East End Park. The way Peter's right, the way, and you can have all the finances you want, but Neil gets them playing. Neil's got that drive. He's a winner, and no team will fancy going there. And the big thing, I know that they want to avoid Rangers or Celtic, but the big thing for Dunfermline was just making sure they were at home. They wouldn't care who they were getting at East End Park, because that game was the best atmosphere I've seen, and I've been involved in some big games at East End Park, but that Hibs game was incredible.
How proud you must be, though, that you brought them up from the third tier to where they are now in the Championship. That must be where does that rate in your success at Coventry, Hibs, all of the place? That season when you came up.
Yeah, that one's a special one, I think. We went with Dundee from the Championship through the playoffs to the Premiership. But again, Peter spoke about Celtic, and that was a COVID season. There were no fans. There were 500 at Dens Park and then 500 at Rugby Park. But just the fact that Falkirk were in the league that season as well, and Falkirk had been in it. So that was a special season. But again, just going back, I didn't realise how big the club was. Peter was obviously there before me, and you were there during the COVID season as well.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. That's the fans. You just want the fans. Paul, it just tells you how important fans are.
Yep.
Dunfermline ended up getting relegated as well, And obviously they had a big problem during COVID. But we're talking about Celtic earlier on about letting supporters in.
Yep.
It's massive how important supporters are to their club. People can't never, it doesn't matter if it's 200 people or 20,000 people. They're so important that they get the support. That's why the fans are the lifeblood of football. And I always say it, and people think we're doing it as a throwaway line. It's fact. Sure. It's fact. Whatever club you support, that's the most important thing in your life. And it means everything to them. And if they're there with you, there is not a better feeling.
They tucked the draw away very late. It was a mistake. I'm sure it's good people, but they left it till after the late show. So some people woke up to the news that it was Rangers against Celtic so that's twice in that same week. Is it 4 or 5 days between the games? Martin O'Neill was asked about the draw.
Well, I kind of guessed it, really. It was either Rangers away or Dunfermline. We've got Lenny. So there we are. Tough, yes. Obviously a tough fixture for us. That's about 4 games in about 10 days, but it is what it is. It
is a lot, isn't it? The 4 but look, if you're in it to win it.
Stuttgart, Rangers, Aberdeen and Rangers.
That's right.
All the way.
Yes.
That's the way things fall for you sometimes, Paul, you know. Unfortunately, it's not ideal in any shape or form, because no matter how well, you're not going to play well in every game. But if there's one man in there that can tell, and James talked about it earlier on there, about rolling your sleeves up, and sometimes that's the most important part of this bit. That second ball that comes down, or that first header you're going to win. People talk about the way you play, but this becomes a time where sometimes you've got to grind in there and grind a result, and that's why you need your support with you. It goes back to that again, to push you over the line when you're feeling the tired legs. All these things are so important, and they all come together.
And they'll be there at the away games, won't they? Away from, because the allocation's not so big. He did make a point, we heard him earlier on, where he mentioned about the Aberdeen Cup game being, the Aberdeen League game being kind of shoehorned in very quickly. James, you any issue with that, or is that just...
No, I don't. I've not. I think we would have complained if it hadn't been put in. I can see what Mark. He's been asked the question. He's got to give an answer. But look, I think
4 games in 10 days.
That's tough.
Yeah, sure.
But again, I think he'll be looking at it from the other point of view, where if they can go in and do well in those 4 games and come out the other end of it with good performances or just good results, as Peter says, it doesn't matter. But what that then does for you, that's the way Martin will use it, I'm sure, where he's saying to them, look, get into these games, roll through them and come out the other end with positive results, and then you look back on it with a positive spin. But look, it's tough in any football, but they're in the cup, they're still they've a chance of progressing in Europe, so would they take that? Of course they would.
You're paid for it, aren't you? I'm just thinking of those, not having played football, people would love to be playing 2-3 games a week. You're fit young men.
Massive, Paul. Yeah. But the thing is as well, if you want to go far in European competitions and all your cup competitions, it becomes normal when you're successful.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm sure Martin would have wanted to be in the Champions League and everything. You know what I mean? That's the way it is, and you want to do that. Of course, sometimes it'd be nice to get a breather in between. Of course, if somebody's got an injury, it's maybe a 3-day injury, they can't play the next game in that midweek game. That's the issue you have. James will tell you, players prefer playing than training. That's 100% sure. And if you're successful in it, that's all it counts.
Liam Scales spoke about the busy schedule coming up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been like this previously this year. You know, we've had midweek games one after the other, and the schedule is always difficult. So I don't think much has changed. I think the nature of the fixtures, you know, we've a few away games in a row. We're going to be travelling a bit, but we're used to that now. So it's we'll be capable of managing that. It won't be a problem.
He was also asked about playing alongside Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah, he looks brilliant, really sharp. You can tell, you know, that he's played at the highest level, and his technical ability and just how he moves. You can tell that. You can see why he's played for clubs like Arsenal and Liverpool, and played for England. You know, he's a top player.
And the draw itself against Rangers in the Cup.
It's good, you know. It's the challenge that we need to face, and we need to beat them to go further in the cup, and it's a great challenge. So we're looking forward to it. Good
time to call 0808 17 17 700, drawing the experience of Peter Grant and James McPake here with me, Paul Cooney. We're here with the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. So it's going to be, Fergie called it squeaky bum time now, isn't it? It's going to last for a couple of months probably. Is it still going to go all the way? Yes or no? Would you think?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't mind?
Yeah.
Yep, yes or no. So Danny Röhl, we knew nothing, not nothing about him. We'd seen him down at Sheffield Wednesday watching it and some of the stuff down south. But he's made an impression. He's the manager of the month. And he's pointed to his experience in Germany, which can help him in the run-in.
Yeah, of course. I think the experience in Munich helped me a lot. It's about how you win games, and it's also that you are always hungry after one win to the next one. I think this is the biggest part. It starts in the training. Every small-sided game you should win in the training as a group, because it gives exactly this culture, about winning culture. This is what I learned from my time in Munich with the players. When you see then the training's quality, and even it's a 4-against-4 game, they want to win this game, and I think this is helpful. This is what I try, leading by example. That every game it's important, and this is now, I think, the result a little bit from the last couple of weeks. The first 2-3 wins feels like big wins, and now you can value wins, but after the game, 5 minutes after the game, for me it's clear it's about the next, and the head goes straight to the next one, and this is what we have to do every time. And if you can do this consistently, we spoke about this in December, if you can take consistently points, then you have a chance to get more, and we did this in the last couple of weeks very well. But now we have teams ahead of us, games ahead of us, where we have to play on our highest level.
James, that's something that Peter always said on this programme. You get about 5 minutes to enjoy the result, and then you're on to the next game. Did you find that when you're coaching?
Definitely, particularly as a player, I felt it was different. Maybe Peter obviously playing at Celtic, Barry when he played at Rangers, there's a different pressure for playing with Hibs or Livingston or Coventry, whoever. But no, certainly as a manager, sometimes you didn't even get 5 minutes. It was, you'd done your team talk in a couple of minutes, then you were out, and right away you're worrying about the Tuesday night game or the next Saturday game. So no, I completely get that. And again, it's good comments from him. It's honest. He's giving his opinion, but he's saying what Martin O'Neill will be thinking, what Derek McInnes will be thinking as well. The three of them at the minute are all in the same boat, where they're just desperate. They're thinking the same. They know they need to win the next game, regardless of what's happened. 5 minutes ago, you've won 8-0, you've won whatever your score is. You need to go and win the next game. It's good he's coming out. It'd be fascinating,
sorry, wouldn't it, if the three of them sat down for a cup of tea like this and could open up with each other, because they're in a kind of unique position. Nobody else, I can't possibly know what it's like, to be manager of a top team looking with a chance of winning a title, Peter. Because it must be lonely at times if you're not the assistant at that point, you're the manager.
Oh, that's fact. James will tell you that there's a hell of a difference between the assistant and manager. Yeah. But the assistant's so important. But the manager, having an assistant can sit all day and you can agree and you bump it and disagree and whatever. But then all of a sudden, the manager's going to go to his own bed. And he doesn't sleep. Because all you're thinking about again, will I change that again? So even James has picked his team, he'll think, well, I move this one or I'll move that one. But it's interesting, you're talking about Derek McInnes, I'll tell you what Derek McInnes is saying. I'm in front of now, so all you have to do is tick each win off. Yeah. Keep winning. Nobody can do anything else about it. Yeah. If we win every game from now at the end of the season, they're the winners. That's fact. Nobody can argue with that. It's when it goes eeksy-peeksy, then there's a different type of pressure. Derek's got to try and manage his players and his supporters. Because remember, let's be honest, was it 12 or 15 points he was in front of Rangers at one stage?
Yeah. Sure.
So if they claw that back, then there's a massive disappointment. They'd think, we'll never have a bigger chance again. But that's so important.
Come back to that in a minute. Dave's on and he's hoping that Hearts won't be happy. Hi, Dave. Good evening.
Evening, Paul.
Evening, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Good. How are you, Dave?
Good, thank you.
Sorry, Paul.
Yes. So good to hear you back on. So what are you thinking tonight?
Yeah, I can agree. I think James said earlier you can see Hibs winning it. I'll be quite honest, I think they could win it. Right. I think this is where the pressure's when you start getting the Hearts. I've got to admit, I wrote them off at the start of the season, as I said, they'll blow up by Christmas, so fair play to how well they've done, but I still think Celtic will win the league.
Are you still with Celtic? Yeah. How do you feel after the window now?
100%.
What do you reckon?
Well, I reckon, Paul, we've effectively got a free transfer window coming before the end of the season with Jota, Alistair Johnson and
Carter Vickers. Sure.
I mean, that's, if we even get two of them out before the end of the season, that's going to be literally two top-class new signings because we haven't had them. And I really think that's where the difference is going to come between now and the end of the season. How many of those three we can get back in time to get up to sort of match speed.
Peter, is it probably just Alistair Johnson who'll probably be back? I mean, we don't really know.
They're talking about even Alistair Johnson just been back for the World Cup.
Oh, are they?
Actually, yeah. It's a bit unfortunate. But listen, I must admit, I think Röhl has done fantastically well. I've been really impressed with him. I think, as I said to you, about Sarachi. So I think they two positions have been excellent.
Well done, Wilfred Nonce, on that one.
You understand what I'm saying? I think he's done exceptionally well, and I think he's handled the pressure. So I've no problems with that. I think the other boys is going to struggle because of the length of time they've been out. Even if Jota did come back, it's a hell of a lot to ask him back for that terrible injury. You know, Carter Vickers obviously the same. He's had too many injuries even the last season. He was in and out of the team because of that. So it's going to be difficult. I think going into it, yes, it was good to see a striker scoring off his first touch, if you know what I mean, in the box, so he can finish right away. So he's not too wide, Paul. He's playing through the middle. And I always say that about strikers. You've got to be able to get in a position that you can score first touch. And that's what he did. So it'll be interesting to see how he evolves, you know. And you're looking at the rest of the group. Centre forward, for me, is the most important. I think Rangers are slightly ahead there because of the game time of their centre forward they've brought in. Hearts have lost their main striker in Shanklin, even though Braga and that can score goals. And I think that's what it could end up coming down to. Can Celtic get the strikers that's going to be available up to fitness as quick as they possibly can? And that maybe be the case now, and that would be a big difference. But the games now, these are the counters. Rangers could lay their marker tomorrow night at Motherwell, and then
that would be a big one.
But then they go on Sunday, and there's no bigger marker to do that. So they could end up going top, even if Celtic win both games. You know what I mean?
Could Celtic catch them? Or would Celtic catch them?
It's going to be into it. I think we spoke about earlier on there, we're talking about the training ground, the intensity Danny Rohl talked about. I've always said that. You remember me saying it in here. Celtic had the best two teams playing each other and training every week. That's not the case anymore. I don't think. There's other guys who are getting the squads for other clubs now. At that particular time when they were successful, they had the best two teams. That is not the case. But the training ground is so competitive. Richard Foster was in here and he said he went to Rangers and he thought the difference going to Rangers, even for Aberdeen, just blew him away. You know, just on the training because of the intensity, because that's what's expected of you.
Remember what he said? So it was intensity and how hard they work, James. He said, look, you might be better players. I kind of expected that. But he said, actually, these better players work so much harder than most other players.
Yeah, I can remember Richard saying that, and I had the conversation with him about it as well. And it's like, it's a great point, and it's great to go in and see that. And I think you find that normally with the better players, that's the reason they are better, because every single day they're working, and that's why they win the games. And you see Celtic getting to so late in that game on Saturday night where they can keep going. There's a belief there, and it's not just all about being good players, it's just how hard they work. And I've seen it throughout my career with top players as well, when you see them, and there's no secret that's why they're so successful.
They work so hard.
And it's like it's what they do, and it's why they get to the levels.
Dave, so you think Hibs will win tonight? Who do you think will win tomorrow night? Celtic against Livy?
I think we've got to win that one.
What do you think about Rangers tomorrow night at Motherwell?
It's a cracking game, and I think Rangers probably can win it. I'm not saying they will win it, but I think they definitely can. I mean, ideally, we'd probably want them, drop to at least a draw. But I wouldn't be surprised if Rangers went there and won. I'll tell you one thing, Paul. After the split, there's going to be some cracking games in that top six after the split.
Can you imagine being a referee or a VAR official at this point?
All the best.
There'll be more scrutiny on that than...
Oh dear.
All right.
But we criticise our VAR officials, but that carry on at the Man City Liverpool game on Sunday is ridiculous.
You're right. I know. Going to have to take a break and then we're back. Dave, thank you so much.
Cheers.
Football Show with Burger King.
Hearts against Hibs, the Edinburgh Derby tonight. So what, be 20,000, isn't it? Just about 19 to 20,000. So not the same numbers as we get in Glasgow, but still huge match. And for the Hearts fans, listen, the Hibs fans will want to upset the apple cart. So it's going to be the Hearts, glorious Hearts tonight. Or is it going to be the Sunshine and Leith? What do you think, James McPake?
Well, I think you know my answer to that. I'm hoping we hear, hear Sunshine on Leaf there, but
no. Can you sing the Hearts song? Do you know it?
No, I hear it.
We'd usually scored by then.
No, I'm the opposite. I've
all
got
Bob
it
Lennox one.
ingrained for Hearts scoring, and then you hear it playing out. But big pressure on both clubs tonight. Obviously, Hearts desperate to stay at the top with their rivals coming across the city. Hibs desperate to put a dent in their. Not only Hearts the title race for them, but Hibs are looking to try and get up the table as well and try and clinch that 4th place. And
they've got that big money in for Kieran Bowie. I mean, I guess if things don't go so well for them, the Hibs fans will be saying, look, you've taken the money, but what do you think of the striker who's in?
Good. He's looked good since he came in, but going back to Bowie, I think like the Hibs, they battered Hearts for a while in that last game at Easter Road, got themselves 3-0 in front, but they had Bowie and they had Josh Mulligan. None of the two of them are playing tonight. Josh has been excellent and Kieran Bowie was excellent, so it's a big night for the new signings going into that atmosphere as well. It's a tough one for them, but what a chance for them to go and make another statement after having a decent start to their Hibs career.
We'll bring you the team news as soon
It's fantastic money as well, Paul.
Isn't it?
For Kieran Bowie.
Is that 7 million?
Fantastic money. Remember I said 3 million for Celtic or Rangers, but if they went to 6, I would leave it. But they've went and got 6 or 7 out, so great credit to him and great credit to the kid as well.
Rangers remain hopeful apparently of retaining Bailey Rice. Now there's a name we've not spoken about much this season at all. There's been interest from a number of clubs across Europe and the Premier League. 19-year-old midfielder, he's a free agent in the summer. I wonder why that's coming out today. I often think when it's speculation, I don't like to dwell on it. But
well, he's got to go and play.
Yeah, he has.
He's got to play.
Yeah.
And he's better than that. Of course, you've got to go earn it when you're in the squad, but you've got to have a chance of playing. But you've seen Rangers have brought other players in for midfield. So the writing's on the wall for me there in that particular position, and I think he's done the right thing. If his contract's up in the summer, I'd be letting it run as well, and then moving on to somewhere that I've got a chance of playing. If I'm not playing, it's only because I'm not playing well enough.
Because James, I know you're thinking about his old teammate, a very young teammate as he was, Lennon Miller. The two of them were the two outstanding talents of that group of young players.
Yeah, and what it does show Bailey Rice is it's not the end of the world. Peter's right, he needs to get out and play. You see these good young players, we can add Lewis Ferguson into it, we can add Lennon Miller, whoever it is that's come in, Kieran Bowie, in this transfer window, that they've maybe went somewhere or they've been somewhere not playing so much, but you get out and play. I know that wasn't the case with Lennon Miller as such, but you get out, you play games. It doesn't matter if you're at Rangers, Motherwell, Hibs, whoever, if you can play well week in, week out and show your potential and fulfil that, then there's still always a move. But I agree completely with Peter, and for any young player it doesn't matter, they've got to get out and play.
Kieran's on, a Celtic fan, saying, what about this chat? And it is chat only at the moment. It's speculation that a 63-year-old Portuguese person could be the manager of Celtic next season, one Jose Mourinho. I mean, it's a kite being flown, isn't it, surely? Or is there a chance?
Well, the one thing is box office, Paul, and I don't think if it comes down to money, and Jose, the difference would be with Jose wanting to manage Celtic, he knows how big Celtic are. And then it would come here, and you know what it's like. He loves a fight and the respect of that. He wants the challenge, and the challenge being Celtic Football Club. He knows the support base. He's seen it for himself firsthand. He knows how massive they are. And it'd just be the fact that would he want to come to Glasgow?
He did say last year that he wouldn't rule it out. Remember when he played against Barry's Rangers?
Well, you see everywhere he goes, Paul. You know, he goes to Turkey, mad supporters, he's been to England, obviously done his stuff down there. He's a wonderful coach. He's got that aura about him. And listen, to be box off for Scottish football, that would definitely put you back on the map, that's for sure, no matter who. And listen, I would never rule it out. Right. I know it sounds somebody's flying a kite, but I would never rule it out.
Would Celtic fans forgive him for the time wasting in Seville, May 2003, when his Porto side, as we know, and it was an amazing side, but they wasted so much time? James, does that matter now?
I think it still matters to some fans, and it gets brought up now and again, but I think if he came in and started winning games, then I'm sure the Celtic fans would take to him. But it would be brilliant for Scottish football to have someone like Jose Mourinho in our game, but it'd be carnage. It'd be good fun, again, just as a fan watching. So no, I hope it's not just a rumour and we get him in to either Celtic or Rangers, which was spoken about before as well.
I was reading in the record that Stephen Welsh, who did so well at Motherwell, came to Celtic because he was recalled during the window. I think he only played in the Auchinleck game, would that be right?
He did play in Auchinleck,
so is he cup tied? But I think he was saying in the interview that he didn't know until the last moments. He was in the dark, basically, in the January window. He's 26 years old. He obviously wanted to go back to Motherwell because he's not getting game time at Celtic. I guess it's one of these things. Don't know what your view is, Peter. He's a Celtic player.
He's a Celtic player, exactly what I was going to say, Paul. And listen, it was great he was out playing at Motherwell. And I think that was always going to be happening. He was going to be at Motherwell. But if Celtic never had another centre-back in, they ended up taking a young boy in. That surprised me a little bit, because if it was a young lad that was coming in, because Stevens, I know people say he's not the tallest, but he's very good in the air. Yeah. You know, he's a competitor that way. And people say, oh, maybe his time at Celtic was up. Yes, but that's fine if you've got players available. Yeah. I believe that Celtic maybe was to the last moment to get another centre-back in. And I think when Stephen looks back at it, you could understand Celtic's, and listen, Celtic was paying his wages. Yeah. You know, he's got the contract with him. He's went to Motherwell and done well, and I'm delighted for him that he's going out to play. That's important. But I'd have been fuming if Celtic hadn't got another centre-back out and allowed Stephen Welsh to go to Motherwell. You know, I'd have been disappointed at that, because you definitely need cover when you've got so many injuries in that position.
Benjamin Arthur, of course, has come in from Brentford, really highly rated. I know it can go the wrong way when people say his style is like a young Virgil van Dijk. But two things then, James, anything else we can say about Stephen Welsh? I get it. If you're the player, you want to know what's happening. The manager and the club are, you know, they were working till the last moment because of the Wilfred Nonce time and the position, the change, the turmoil in January.
No, I agree with everything Peter said. I would like to see the interview firsthand to see what Stephen's actually said, because I think at times we do see this and I'll be left in the dark and frustrated. Everything that the journalists can say what they want, or the paper can say what it wants, but I'd like to see that interview. But I don't think you can.
Good journalism.
I take it if I'm reading this about one of my players.
You'd want to read it.
Yeah, and that conversation might have been different with the manager or with Martin O'Neill if he even had it. I'm not sure, but look, he's done great. Stephen Welsh, he's went out. He's hopefully plays tomorrow night and does well again, because it's good seeing like we spoke about Bailey Rice. I know he's not that young now, Stephen Welsh, but he's getting out and now he's playing and justifying all the hard work for his career and playing at a good level, and this will stand him in good stead. If it's not at Celtic, he'll go and get a move somewhere, because he's done really well at Motherwell. But look, it's up to Celtic what they do with their players, like it's up to Rangers, and you just need to deal with that as a player.
This time tomorrow night, we'll be bringing you the team news. Well, it's around about 1:45. We'll get it tonight as well, won't we, for the Hearts Hibs game. But Danny Röhl today was speaking about the match with Motherwell, which actually I think everyone can't wait to watch.
Yeah, first it showed that they're doing an outstanding job there. I think the manager is doing a good job there, the group doing a good job there. It's a tough place. I think also the home game here was a game with a lot of chances on both sides. Both teams play with intensity. Both teams try something in the game. We know what we expect in this game. And for us, it's the next big challenge on a tough place. I think in the last couple of weeks, we were always ready for this challenge, and we took always good results from these big games. And tomorrow is the next step. We go there with confidence, with ambitions, and we have to do a lot of things right tomorrow to win such a game.
Wonder what the Rangers team will look like for tomorrow night for this hugely important game. It's hard to read at the moment, isn't it?
I'm quite interested to see what it does tactically, because I thought, and I hate going back to Wilfred Nonce in the respect of that, but I knew it was curtains for him after that game, because he never adjusted anything in the game. And I'm thinking all you need is to keep someone central, because every time two played up, they split and Motherwell just played through them. If you go somebody central, they've got to go longer. And anybody will tell you, if the ball's been kicked in the air long, James will tell you, playing centre back or whatever, you're delighted. It's when teams start popping it round you and moving around about you. If you don't allow Motherwell the first pass, and I know on some occasions that can be difficult, but then if you allow that, we'll force it one way. This is what I'm more interested in watching, what Danny Röhl's team do tomorrow night compared to what Celtic did. Celtic got 1,000 over there, you know, so that's what I'm going to say. This is where you earn your money as the Rangers manager, because you've got to go there and win. And how are you going to do it against a team that's been out playing most teams there and away from home? So that's the tactical side of it I'm more looking at, Paul, than anything else.
Yep, and if I'm correct, I think that's when Wilfred Nonce went to the back three and got absolutely battered that night, because their wing backs got locked in, and he was reluctant to change it then. But we're talking about a Rangers team and a Celtic team going to Fir Park and adjusting their tactics just because Motherwell are playing so well. I think it was Dave that was on saying how looking for it's going to be a cracker of a game. And I think he was a Celtic fan, if I'm right, and he's talking about the Rangers game going to Motherwell. We're talking about Hearts v Hibs tonight. Then we know we've got at Ibrox Rangers v Hearts at the weekend. I can't remember this ever happening in Scottish football where there's such interest from other fans. You've got a Celtic fan, really interesting to see what Motherwell can do to Rangers. And let's not forget, Celtic have still got a tough game at home where they need to be sure to pick up the 3 points. But I just think credit to Motherwell that we're talking about Celtic going and Rangers going to Fir Park and Celtic getting a battering. Rangers, how are they tactically going to approach this game? And it's a big test for Danny Röhl, who's been steamrolling nearly every other team in Scotland at the minute. But this is a massive test for him.
Of course, earlier in the season, his defence, or their defence, because it was Russell Martin, was getting battered in every way and being criticised. But they've had so many clean sheets. But they're up against.
But do you know something, Paul, about that? Danny, I'm sure Russell Martin had a better record than Motherwell when they were getting all the praise. I think Motherwell drew
draws. 6. Yeah, too many draws.
And Rangers would drew something like that. But that's that's what I'm saying, Paul. So that's where the pressure comes.
Let's talk Maswanisi. He's at 18 goals so far. He was wanted elsewhere, but Motherwell have said no. I think the Lennon Miller money has helped him. What do you make of Maswanisi and what a threat he'll be for the Rangers back line tomorrow?
Yeah, he's a player that worries every team. He's goal scoring and he's different from when we talk about Shankland, Nadiri, maybe we're talking about Celtic's number 9. I think with Maswanisi, he can score goals as a striker. He can create goals and he can score goals for wider areas. So I think he's a threat. And he's playing with the pressure and not playing with one of the bigger clubs, which helps you at times. So that was always a question if he went to Celtic or Rangers, could he cope with that? But I love him. I love watching him. I love the goals he's scored. I think he's really good to watch, and you see him at times, he goes in a mood when he gets taken off. I love that as well. He loves playing.
You didn't like that when you were the manager.
I know I would have lost the plot with that, but no, he's a threat, and he'll be the analysis Rangers are doing anything.
Simon Murray, did he used to give you stick? Was he?
No, Simon was always all right. Yeah. I never really had him as a player. It was.
Oh, did you not bring him in?
No, he came in and trained. I tried to buy him, but Roy had too much money at Ross County, I think, so they took him. No, we had a few that would you'd take them off and they would moan. Charlie Adam was one, but you had to take Charlie off just because he was getting older at the time. So not great though.
What a striker of the ball, mind you, Charlie Adam. But for Maswanisi and for Motherwell, because Jens Bertel asked you, could well say, I must just have missed out on Manager of the Month. He's had it already because it's been a terrific period for him.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, the pressure that goes with Celtic and Rangers, we've talked about many times. Yeah. But the way that Motherwell have tried to play and change, the manager's tried to change that. He's done it remarkably well. I know there's less pressure, and I've spoke about it many times, because it works for them and they're getting results. The way he's got players believing in it, it's the best thing you can get, and it's the hardest way to play. James will tell you it's the hardest way to play, especially if results are going against you. Yeah. They've not had results going against them. They've kept in there, they've won games, they've outplayed games. Probably the closest, they were 3-0 up at Hearts. People forget.
Sure, famously.
And it was 3-3. Sure. So all these things, it shows you what they're capable of. Maswanisi is going to be an interesting one. I've always said playing against the Celtic and Rangers gives you more space, if you understand what I'm saying, because they're coming to beat you. Yep. They're coming after you. So now will he be able to deal with that? I always think when he's playing against other teams, there's no space. He's mostly around about the 18-yard box or 30 yards for goals because they're giving Motherwell that much respect. Yeah. Rangers will give them respect. But the fans of Rangers will be demanding Rangers that they come forward. Rangers will not be sitting in and saying, right, you come and beat us, we're going to leave that space for Maswaniki in behind you. That's not going to happen. Rangers are going to stop them playing and try and put everything onto Rangers. Then we'll see how he performs, Paul. Because I said about the other week there when they were talking about Celtic signing him, I said my only concern from him is, James touched on it there, he scores from wide, centre forward. I like a number 9.
I know, you said
I like a number 9. And I don't know if I know he scored 18 goals and it sounds crazy, but I think he needs that space. When Celtic and Rangers play, predominantly there's no space there.
That space.
And that's what I'm interested in seeing doing tomorrow night against Rangers. That's why I'm saying tactically, I'm really looking forward to that game, to see how that works.
I love when you pronounce Stamatopoulos, who scored 7 goals as well, but no more time for that, because after the break, we'll bring you the team's Hearts against Hibs.
Football Show with Burger King.
Yep, we're getting right into it tonight. So here's Hearts against Hibs. The Hibs team dropped just a second or two ago. We'll give you the Hearts in a moment or two. The Hibs team at Tynecastle. Salinger in goals. This is the way they've given us the team. Boyle, the captain, of course. Chaiwa, Iredale, Nicky Cadden, Barlassar, Paslak, Andrews, Rocky Bashiri, Karanga and Scarlett. On the bench, Smith, O'Hora, Ewan, McGrath, Megwa, Campbell, Molotnikov, Elding and Suto. So, James, just a quick word on the Hibs and before I give you the Hearts team. What do you think?
Yeah, obviously we knew Grant Hanley was going to be out.
Yes,
We've seen the two set plays that they lost against Dundee United. They're facing, in my opinion, the best team in the league for putting corners and crosses into your box. My worry for Hibs tonight is set plays, if I'm honest. Obviously losing Kieran Bowie as well was another. He was a good header of the ball. Josh Mulligan as well. So that's going to be a threat. So Hibs need to work on that tonight. I'm still not convinced with the goalkeeper. It sounds all negative, Paul.
You know what? No, it's been an issue, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been for a couple of seasons. But no, like they'll need to be very careful. Obviously, we've not spoke about the Hearts team yet, but a big threat tonight, and I think that there'll be set plays in that game that will cause problems.
Okay, here's the Hearts team, and of course, Craig Gordon has dropped back to the bench, which he has for the last 3 games. So, Sholo in goals, of course, Kent, Baningame, Braga, Kabori, Milne, Finlay, McEntee, Leonard, Kisaridis and Chesnikov. On the bench, Gordon, of course, McCart, Steinwender, Spittle, Magnuson, Altena, Kerjota, Egu and Matto. Peter?
I just think with Hearts having that little bit of quality in the final third, Paul, it gives Hibs a little bit of a problem. For the Hibs team, I would always have McGrath playing if he's fit. Yeah, I just think he's a really good player. So he must maybe carry an injury.
Big player as well,
yeah,
isn't he?
I just think he gives you that little bit of quality when you need it, because this game is going to be, obviously, like any other game, so competitive. And I'll say it now, you'll think Nicky Cadden on one side putting delivery in, fantastic cross with the ball, who's going to be on the end of it, all these things. And it's going to be so important. Hibs are going to stand up to free kicks, corners, the weather outside, the wind and the rain. They're going to be making the keeper under pressure. Because James is right, I've not been over enamoured with the goalkeeper either. I think he doesn't, I always think the big teams have got a goalkeeper that has that presence that comes and gets things. That's why I thought when Craig Gordon got in, he'd have definitely stayed in the team. I said that to you at the time, and I thought that was a big plus for Hearts. And that's no disrespect to the other goalkeeper. I just think Craig Gordon's better. Hibs, I'm not so sure, and that's why I think Hearts will win the game tonight.
Scoreline, what do you reckon?
2-1 Hearts.
2-1. What do you think of the goalkeeping position at Hearts? What would you do if you were the manager?
I said that at the time as well. I agree with Peter. I just think that where you are in the league, the fact that Craig Gordon's been through it, he's had to keep big clean sheets, make big saves and a title winning Celtic team, and the fact that he come back, he done great, they won the couple of games. I'd have kept him in for experience, but I did say Derek would make his mind up. The other goalkeeper's been good, but for me, I think I still think Craig Gordon's a better goalkeeper all round. Yeah, he might not be as good with the ball at his feet, kick it as far, but what he offers you in terms of saves and experience, for me, he would have been my number one, but of course it's up to Derek to make that call.
That's an important point that James made there. He's talking about Craig Gordon good with his feet. Hearts don't play that way, Paul. They Hearts don't go and pass it out to the back or the back line or whatever, and Craig's comfortable if he's got time. If the ball goes back to him, he's no time. It's going up the pitch. But when it goes up the pitch, what Hearts are very good at is getting on that next one, and that's what you'll have to do tonight. I don't care whatever team, but whatever type of team you think you are, you've got to win the next ones that's knocked down. Baningame and all that are very, very good at that.
They are.
And that's why I thought McGrath would have been in there, because I think he's the first on it as a Hibs player. I'm not sure they've got that with him and Mulligan nobbing there. I think that's where it could be lost. And if you lose the midfield in games like that, that is a problem. That's why I think Hearts are slight favourites for us.
Because the mark of Hearts has been the consistency. What's that, only 3 defeats all season? It's remarkable for a team who were bottom in the league. I know it was early last season, but they were bottom 6. What about Finlay? What are you thinking about him, James? Looking at McEntee spoke about coming back quickly from injury because of the other injuries, so he thought, the club really need me. So
and Halkett obviously been suspended after a red card. I think when we talk about Finlay, for me that was Finlay's fault, that red card. He tries to dribble with the ball instead, and you heard Derek saying he should have went longer. So he's done well. He's a big threat from set plays, but I think there's something in him that you can get something out of him. Martin Boyle will be looking at that and thinking I can play on him. But look, fair play to him, he's done great. To be a big part of a title chasing team, but I still think that he's suspect at certain times, and Hibs will be looking to exploit that tonight.
We'll all be watching the game tonight. It's on at 8 o'clock. Martin O'Neill was asked about the Edinburgh Derby. His thoughts on it?
Of course, yeah.
Are you watching it?
Of course, yeah. What would you think? But we'll have to try and look after ourselves tomorrow night. But yeah, I'll be watching the game.
Imagine he said, "No, I'm watching Landman. It's absolutely brilliant, and it is brilliant." Or I'm watching Coronation Street, or whatever. Yeah, I've asked.
Listen, I think it's so important. We all say it, Paul. You keep one eye on it. When you're not playing, your only interest is in making sure your team gets results. But when this game's on, there's absolutely no doubt. And I'm sure Martin will be like any other Celtic supporter, hoping Hibs get to do a turn.
Big Hibs fan Thomas has just messaged us. So James, what's your prediction? So Peter thinks it's going to be a Hearts win tonight. What do you feel?
I'm going 1-0 Hearts, goal from a set play.
Are you? Right, okay. Who do you think it's going to be? Is it Braga's going to nip in there, or Kisaridis, or...
No, after just having a go at him, I'll go
You're going to say
Finlay.
Finlay, of course. Right, what about tomorrow night? Let's go Falkirk against Dundee. Oh my goodness, both of them had tough games at the weekend. Falkirk going through in the Cup, Dundee, long game against Celtic. Peter, what do you reckon? What's happening tomorrow night?
I've went for Dundee to win that one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I've went Dundee to beat Falkirk, which will be a surprise for everyone, because I think Falkirk have been outstanding. Yep. But I just think Dundee will not take any negative apart for the result for the weekend.
What do you reckon?
I think Falkirk will win 2-1.
Okay, you're going Falkirk 2-1. Kilmarnock against St Mirren, great game at Rugby Park. Neil McCann, Billy Dodds up against Stephen Robinson. What are you thinking, Peter?
I'm going to go Kilmarnock in this particular one.
You were itching to come in there. I knew there was going to be something. So you're going for Kelly?
Yeah, I am. Okay. I'm going to go for Kelly. I just think Billy and Neil in there, they've got a result. They've got the players having that little bit of belief, and it's not easy when they've been in the position they've been in. But I just think I fancy Kelly in that one.
My friend Ian Welsh, he'll be delighted about that, former chief exec at the club. So Ian will be delighted. What do you think, James?
Kilmarnock as well.
Yeah, going for Kelly?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you wanting the scores, or are we just...
I'm just looking there. I was just trying to think of something about Paisley. You're barred from Paisley. Dundee United against Aberdeen. My goodness, used to be the new firm derby. You'd be talking about it for ages, even here in Radio Glasgow and Glasgow Zone. James, you first. What do you reckon?
I'm going Dundee United. A tight game, but I think Jim's due something to go, and I think they'll beat Aberdeen.
I've went for a draw, Paul, in that one. It's very unusual to go for a draw, but I'm going to go for 1-1 in that one.
Celtic against Livy. James, you first. What do you think?
Celtic comfortably.
Okay.
I've went Celtic 3-1, Paul.
You could reckon 3-1.
Because I think Livy will try and keep it tight, Paul, and hope they're going to get set plays. And that's their biggest, I think, Celtic's biggest failure is the set plays against. So I just think that's Livingston. I'll be looking at that.
Here's Martin O'Neill.
Yeah, absolutely. He's stepped in there, and I just think it's a difficult game for us anyway. And it's not just the matter of saying it, it is absolutely. It's just that I like our team. I thought we showed plenty of character to fight back there on Saturday evening. It was really great. But, you know, I don't think we're capable of taking anybody lightly. I don't think we've got... well, if we do, we shouldn't be doing it, because we haven't... we're not good enough to treat people lightly.
So you're both going for Celtic tomorrow night. I see Marvin Bartley actually played against Oxlade-Chamberlain when he was
at Bristol City,
Bournemouth, I think, just against Southampton. So he was very young, and he said you could tell what a player he was. So Marvin in charge there. And what about Motherwell Rangers? So Danny Röhl, we heard him earlier, didn't we, speaking about Motherwell. His team's mentality, he wanted to stress today.
I feel that we have confidence. I feel that we want to show where we are and what we can do on the pitch. I think that was in the last couple of weeks, really. I think even when you go, for example, to Aberdeen, I think this is also a tough place, and we showed a big character. But every game now is a challenge. You have never an easy game now. In the final weeks of a season, especially second half of the season, you know that every point is important. I said this after the Hibs game, for example, that even this point is important to take it. And tomorrow as well, we go there. I feel the challenge of the group. And
is he saying that a draw? He's not saying a draw would do for him, but it's something
he's talking about taking points, Paul. It's important, but I think Rangers will win.
Going to be Rangers.
I'm going Rangers 2-1.
Scoreline? Yeah, 2-1. Thank you.
3-2 Rangers. I think it'll be the build-up of everyone's gave this game. I think it'll be a good game, but I think Rangers will edge it.
Okay. Tomorrow night, Darren and Dee will be here, and Jamie Murphy. So we'll be looking back at the Hearts Hibs game, and then looking forward to so many matches tomorrow night. It's a season like no other, Peter, isn't it? You've been
absolutely, Paul. And listen, and sometimes it's not down to the football, Paul. It's the mentality getting into this. I know that's a big part to playing any football match, but genuinely in this period, who can handle it? The pressure. If somebody drops a point, are you ready to take it? And that's the most important thing. You've got to focus on your own. But no, when anybody slips up, you're ready to take it, because the last thing you want is somebody to slip up and you not to take advantage.
Thank you. Those words of wisdom. We had shut up earlier on from one of the callers to words of wisdom from both of them. Thank you so much. Jokel Day is next. See you tomorrow night at 5.